Our comfort zone is something that has always been a question mark in my mind because I've gravitated to what's safe, but yet my biggest growth has been when I've gone out of my comfort zone. And it's invariably through adverse situations. The comfort zone doesn't come on a silver platter with rose petals and a glass of champagne. It comes to you with a hard smack quite often. And we need that because how many of us really voluntarily seek change? And change is where opportunity is. Change is where growth is. And change is where life is. So I love to encourage people that be fearful of stagnation. Don't be fearful of change because change gives you choice and choice gives you opportunity. From my young adult life and who I am today has changed in not just evolutions, in revolutions, because of the changes that I've made, because of the territories I've explored, because I've gone to places that people have looked at me and said, you're going on your own, but I know going on my own is what expands and grows me. Living with other cultures, learning how they live, and Africa and India stand out loudly in my mind and in my heart because with so little, they give so much. And that's humbling. And I feel privileged to share space with those people. They've made a difference in my life, in opening my world up to what really matters in life. And it's not the things and the stuff. It's about the connection. Your life doesn't have to be what you think it's dished you up. There is choice available. Just inquire, ask questions, explore, because our mind is not our friend. Our mind is our biggest handbrake. And you are not your mind, and you are not your genes. Neuroplasticity tells you that. And we can all evolve into whatever we want if we put our mind and our heart to it. All you have to do is have the will and the desire. And as they say, the teacher always shows up when the student is ready. I grew up in South Africa and I lost my dad when I was 3. So that was quite a thing because I actually never knew him. And then growing up, I didn't relate to people, I didn't fit in, and animals were my refuge. They were my sanctuary. And then going to varsity, I've always had this thing for travel. And I grew up speaking Zulu, but I wanted to have a European language or 2 or 3 behind me and study that. Little did I know where that was going to take me. And then a real twist and turn of events that happened to my mom and I, and we were forced to start a business to survive, which culminated in us installing AstroTurf hockey fields and athletic tracks around the country. And my primary role was project managing on site, never knowing what I was doing, but what a learning curve. And that's really where my life took a big turn and got into wildlife travel, and had a most amazing experience at one of the renowned companies that have luxury lodges. That really started to light up my life about wildlife and more about Africa, and I think that's where it started to bubble up for me. And then another change, because change is one of my favorite things, I got another opportunity to go into the people business, which I knew nothing about. Although relationships have always been important to me in life as I've grown up, but the how-to was what I didn't know much about, and that's where my grounding and my foundation was in this company, and was selling training, people development programs. And that really woke up something else in me of, wow, you can actually make a difference in people's lives by just equipping and enabling them with some tools and skills of how to relate better, perform better, and get the best out of themselves and in life. But working in employment and corporate had confinement and limitations that were frustrating me. And I had a big shock and within 6 weeks of each other, I had 2 different diagnoses of cancer, which completely brought my world to a grinding halt. I was confused, I was annoyed, I was frustrated, I was angry. Why? Why, when everything's just going and there's all these opportunities, why the handbrake? Why me? Why? And I went on my own journey of self-discovery and understanding that my mind and my heart and my spirit had everything to do with what was playing out. And that whole alignment of mind, body, and spirit is what really drew me to the next phase of my life, where I then went and studied reflexology and Reiki and really went on my own journey of mindfulness. And I went to India and I went to America and studied my mindfulness and meditation teacher training through another amazing, amazing man, David G., who was a big influencer in shaping how you live your life by the way you think, you feel, and therefore you act. So the nature of the work that I do is more around not just teaching people skills, but equipping and enabling people to change their lives by changing their mindset, the way they think, the way they feel, and knowing themselves to the point of living their true, authentic selves. Because, to be honest, I didn't. The biggest disease that I had was the disease to please. It was about living other people's script, because pleasing other people was where I got my validation and my approval. And no wonder I wasn't self-confident, because I wasn't drawing from self, I was drawing from others. When Paul and I got together, that was my biggest blessing, because we then were asking ourselves, how do we blend not just the two of us as a couple, but how do we make a difference in people's lives by blending what he's done and what I've done, and really take Overlanding to the next level. And so for the first couple of years of our relationship, the most important thing for me was to get to know Paul's life. The overlander, the expedition specialist, the rally specialist, and I immersed myself in all those events. Sure, that was baptism by fire, but man, it was exciting. And I learned a lot about me, about us, about people, about life, about the world. It was so expansive. I found myself exploding with excitement. I said to Paul, we've got to do this, because it's not just about the truck and the trip. It's the people that can make it or break it. And so it's been bubbling, and it's brought us finally to the journey where we are now with Essence of Overlanding. And that's the result of his life and my life together, and paying it forward to those who want to be inspired and need that little bit of a lift to go and live their life, live their dream, and live their truth. And Essence of Overlanding is our passion, to give people the opportunity to live their true, authentic life and fulfill their dreams.
Thank you for watching, and we really value your support. And if you'd like to join us on more journeys and see what we uncover, the beautiful stories, please support us on Patreon. There's a link below.